brains, one cell, two brains, one cell, two brains, one cell, two brains, one cell.
Welcome back to Two Brains One Cell, episode 73.
There it is. We got it. Got it this time.
Because we forgot last time.
We got it. I was about to do the same shit.
Welcome back, guys. We went camping, so you know.
So
everything
anyway,
went
guys,
down
we went
just
camping
so
over the
fast,
weekend, and
and
it was
you know,
really
we
fun.
went
And
right
we
through.
had
There's
a
a lot of
lot. We had a
mosquitoes
lot
and
of fun.
blue
There was
bonnets,
so many
ice
fucking mosquitoes. My brain is not working quick enough to like do that right now. I'm so fucking tired.
I know. I was just kind of filling it in with a little.
Mosquito.
Yeah. I don't know why I've just been calling them that.
Mosquitoes.
Hey,
get the squiddo.
So we got back from camping yesterday.
It's Tuesday, by the way.
We're recording on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole lot of fuck shit coming up that may or may not come to be a topic in a little bit after we get done talking about camping.
Like 20 minutes.
Yeah. I kind of I tried to make it linear, but when we were driving up there,
dude, nothing about us is linear.
No, not really. our everything about us is just a rubber band ball. It's circular. It all comes back together, but it's you can't fucking find the start or the end.
Never. Oh yeah, my frick vape bracelet came in.
Yay! That's
so
awesome.
I should have wore it. Damn it.
So when we were driving up there, just everybody, we all know that this is also kind of weird. We all know that everyone sucks at driving.
Yeah.
Yet, how does everyone still suck at driving?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Like, I think we're all aware of it, but no one is better at driving.
Yeah. I think we should start asking more questions. How'd you get your license is the first one. How can we get it away from you is the second.
And how can we take it away from you?
Yeah. Can I see it for a second? Fire pit.
And so we got cut off like 3 times within the course of 15 minutes.
Fucking God.
And there was this one guy that Cade had to slam on his brakes, and I had the cooler behind me, and you could hear all of the drinks and the ice and everything just boom hit the edge of it, and he just pulled out in front of us out of nowhere, and it was right next to an intersection too, so it was fucked. And then we're both turning, so we turn. And
me being me, I'm like, I'm getting next to this guy.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you?
And my first thought, I think while we were about to approach him, I, started to lift up my middle finger.
I put up the gun.
Which we haven't explained that yet.
No,
oh
my God, we haven't.
Just very quickly. Well, when me and Cade were going to Barnes & Noble, I just randomly came just out of fucking nowhere.
He was bored,
I think. We were just on the freeway, and all of us, there's a car coming next to us, and I just slowly lift up my hand like this.
Not even up in the window, just only so him and I could see it.
Yeah, it's just nondescript. I could do it.
I could do it right now.
Do it right now.
And
I just kept doing it.
And it just became a thing.
And it's just been a whole thing that we do. So
it's just been a whole thing.
Randomly, we'll just be kind of sitting there and just
if it ever gets too silent for a minute, we're just just to spark another conversation.
And so Cade did that, and I think I was slowly trying to figure out what I was going to do with my hand while we passed him. And then I turned to Cade and I go, "Wait, just give him a thumbs up."
So we both just
we're driving past, and I just look over at him with a thumbs up, and Cade's thumbs up, and the dude looks at us, looks at the road, then looks back, and does this. He starts frantically throwing his hands around
so quickly,
and it was like cartoonish. That was way overblown.
And it's he's the one who cut us off.
Yeah, as if he's trying to be like, "You guys
you were in my way."
Yeah, and it was bizarre, his reaction, and it just as soon as we got past him, we were both dying laughing. We weren't even past him yet.
No.
As soon as we saw him do that, we were both cackling.
He had to have seen us laughing too. Oh my God, it was a full 5 minutes of just cackling about it.
Because what the fuck is that reaction?
Yeah,
it was like he was trying to explain everything that had happened in the 2 seconds that we were next to him. And so it was thumbs up, and he was like, and then we were past him, and he was we were just laughing because it was so weird.
He had his whole family in the car too, I think.
It was fucking hilarious.
It wasn't like someone our age. It was a dad.
This was a grown ass man.
And he got pissed at a couple 20-year-olds giving him the thumbs up after he cut them off.
And then we both just like I think I've seen I don't know who I've seen do that before, where they just give someone a thumbs up after cutting them off or
but
something.
As soon as we did that, I'm like, I am now doing that always.
It is so passive aggressive.
It is so much funnier than flipping people off.
It's just like it's showing them. You're like, good job, dude.
Hey, fucking good one.
And
so funny.
They know it's like that, so it pisses them off even more. It's worse than a middle finger. Like it's
really is
fucking funny.
Because it's just like, fuck you, man. It's like, nice.
You could do like a fuck you, man, and they're like, oh, fuck you too.
Fuck you too.
But if you give them a thumbs up,
what are they gonna do?
And I think that's why it changed so frantically for him. It's because he didn't know what to do in that situation.
Yeah.
We were both like, good job,
good
idiot.
job, buddy.
And he was just like,
I really hope he knows that this is on a podcast. And that one day we're going to find him and we're going to give him a nice, good old thumbs up.
We know you're watching.
We know you're watching.
And because you are, nice one, idiot.
That's the thumbnail.
Yep. And we got up there, so we met everyone. We were supposed to meet him at Mike's.
Well.
And
I had to shit.
Well, and I don't get why that gas station is like, you got to stop
You
there.
got to stop
As soon
there.
as you get into Garden City, you got to stop
there.
there.
That is the gas station.
You check out the pocket knives, you get a couple snacks, you take the massive shits.
That poor fucking bathroom, dude.
And then you wander around for a second, see if they got any cool shit in there, and you peace out.
You leave. You usually don't even get anything.
Right.
It's just fun, and you take a shit.
And then we met at Mike's, and we were supposed to go to the lake and meet up with everyone and go swimming, but the way that the timing was going to work out, we would have been at the lake for like under an hour.
Yeah.
And then we would have had to leave to go make sure that we had the campsite. And so in the parking lot, me and Cade were both just kind of like, I don't need to go to the lake.
I don't really care to go to the lake.
And so she left to go to the lake. We separated, and then she was like, I sent you the itinerary in case someone asks, but they're supposed to be out of there by 2, or we're not allowed to check in till 2. They're supposed to be out of there by whatever time.
Yeah.
And so me and Cade were both like, well, let's just kind of fuck off and waste some time, I guess, because
what we do best.
It's our specialty.
Fucking off.
And so we stopped at a little...
It's like a general store, but we were now on the Idaho side, so it's also a liquor store because they're way cooler.
It was like a gas station, like the inside of a gas station, and then they had a separate portion of the back of it that was just all a liquor store.
Yeah.
And it was still
so fucking cool.
It was almost like 2 different stores, but it was like, well, we're here. Let's just make it one store.
Yeah. And let me tell you what I found. I found the alcoholic monsters. Let me tell you, they were goddamn delicious. And now let me tell you what I found out after is that it has malt, which is from barley, which has gluten, and I can't have gluten. I'm still going to drink the rest that I brought home.
And so we stopped there and just started heading up.
Yep.
We were like, well, we were debating. We were like, well, we could go up there now, and then there wasn't anything else. We were just like, well, let's go up there now.
There was no or.
So then we headed up there, and we were like, let's stop by the Blue Pond, make sure that it's still just as gorgeous.
Make sure it's blue.
Yeah, make sure it's still blue and a pond.
And let me tell you,
it was.
It was both.
But there were so many fucking mosquitoes.
Holy shit.
Like, we got out and we're immediately just getting attacked within just like however many minutes that we were there, like 8 minutes tops.
If
like, maybe even 5. Like
we
got
not there
out
for long.
We walked up the trail, looked at it for a second, took a picture, and just kind of admired it,
and then
while fighting off mosquitoes. And then we got back in the car and started heading towards the campsite. And when we got up there, the guy that usually changed the tags and checks on like what's going on at the campsite was leaving as we were pulling into the site. And so we get up to the little area, and there's no one there. And the guy just left.
And what name is on the little tag?
T-Man.
T-Man.
Or it was Manti.
It was Manti, yeah.
And so he pulled up and parked, and we were both just kind of like, I don't see why we can't.
Yeah.
So we got out, and it was not even like, it was like barely 1 o'clock maybe.
Yeah.
and we just started setting up all of our stuff. Sadly, we couldn't put the tents together because it's just
My
doesn't
tent
fit.
that I have now is a little bit bigger.
Yep. And so he just got the one like literally a couple feet away from me.
Yeah, I could still hear the farts.
Which by that little camp spot first, I don't think I knew that was there.
Really?
Yeah. And then
We used that as like the piss spot last year.
I think that like in my mind though, I just thought that was just like a part of like just the woods. Like yeah, I just thought it was just part of it, and I didn't think that it was a little spot. And the fact that you're just in your own little space, like it was just like a wall of trees around
I
you.
actually loved it.
It was so sick.
Only thing that was dumb is that there was a chipmunk. I think it had like its nest or something in the tree right there, because every morning, loud as fuck, chipmunk just right there.
We found out that the squirrels and chipmunks around like mine and your tent, they were like the bird and there was a mother bird fighting off these chipmunks and squirrels every morning, and I didn't realize that until the second morning when I got up and I saw them fighting each other and like.
Just some anime type shit.
It honestly could have been like you literally saw the squirrel running up the tree and the bird is like wings out staring down at it just like like don't fuck with me and
Meow,
then
fuck out the way.
and then the squirrel's like I'm gonna eat your babies and like
Whoa.
I heard the conversation.
Did you hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
he said that?
Well, okay, I didn't hear it. I saw the subtitles.
Oh.
And,
it was sub. All right.
Yeah, it was sub. And so you literally see the bird getting pissed off and the squirrel like trying to get around to the bird's nest, and then they were like chasing each other throughout our little area by us.
Yeah.
There was nowhere else in that giant campsite.
Just us.
It was just our little section, and I was like,
Awesome.
that makes so much sense.
How fucking about that?
And
Shows how much I pay attention.
and so we just set everything up and like put our camp chairs out, put the cooler on the table. And then we just kind of were like, it's hot, and the flies will not fuck off.
I was legitimately mad at the sheer amount of volume of flies
Well,
and
and it was
mosquitoes.
like you can't even do anything.
No, because
You
there's
can't
like
punch a fly.
Well, I
you,
did.
You did, but
I did.
But like you can't
I
punch all of them.
I started just fucking swinging, and I just hit one.
and tell me this: did you have an issue with the flies after that?
No,
Nothing, right?
none. What the fuck?
It didn't make any sense.
What the fuck? Just while we were setting up.
Yeah. Well, and my mom's tent too.
True.
And then they didn't show up ever after that. It was so weird.
Maybe we were too stinky.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, maybe after the first day we just got real stinky.
Real stinky.
And so we got done setting up our tents, and then we were just kind of like, go hang out in the AC.
Get in the car.
In the car. And so we literally were just hanging out in Kate's car for hours
And
almost.
what I did is I put in drive, drove right into the one spot of shade, and then like every 15 minutes I would just keep doing that. We just made ourselves right at home, scooted the chairs back, leaned them back, and we're just fucking chilling.
And then after a while, you started to organize your middle console.
Yeah, and then Carson was like, all right.
I was like, this is my shit right
This
here.
is my shit.
I like this.
So we went through my entire center console, and it's just like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah, whoa, look at this. I forgot that was in there. And then I was on a mission to fix that tiny little butterfly
He
knife.
was, yeah. He was like, I gotta find the
It
pin.
was like the first couple of things you had taken out, I saw it, and I went to grab it, and then I saw a little screw fall down, and then I saw a little like pin fall down too, and I was like, oh
no.
I think that was part of the butterfly knife. And it just sank to the bottom of the console, and I was like, well,
we gotta do it now.
And so between me loving to like do that kind of stuff and that, I was like, well, now I gotta help him.
Yeah.
I gotta get on this.
Yeah.
And I wasn't much help.
Well, let me tell you, it didn't stop there.
Yeah.
Then we went through the glove compartment.
Yep.
And then just got all the trash out of the doors.
Yeah,
I had like
under
a
the-
trash pile.
Under the seats, in
Yeah.
the doors, like just everything. And I did end up fixing the butterfly knife.
He did. He got it.
And then we pulled out your glove compartment, and you just got rid of a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah. And the boyfriend CD was in there that he got me.
Yeah, which I completely forgot about. I was like, why does Kate have one CD in here?
And it's the one he gave me.
And I opened it, and I was like, yep, I signed it and everything. That's the one.
Imagine I just had a second one.
You have two.
Yeah.
One signed by Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And that's the one you keep in the car.
Yeah. Yours
And
is
it says the same message
Yeah.
too, like to my husband and boyfriend.
it's just different cursive. What? Wait a
Wait
minute.
a fucking second. You're like, no. And
It
then
didn't mean anything, I swear.
I looked in his back seat and there was a bicycle helmet.
And obviously,
You gotta put it on.
you got to put it on.
And then you gotta put it on backwards.
And might I say, that was the funniest shit all day.
We spent like 12 minutes, just longer than 12, like just fucking with this helmet and making jokes and like tightening it and then loosening it. And
It
like,
had one of those knobs to like help get like the right fucking thing for it, and we would just turn it, and Carson would just speak perfectly normal
Yeah.
and like genius level IQ, and then just turn into like me when you like
you just
rotate-
tighten it and then it would just be like, shit.
Fuck.
Or I want a corn dog. and then we'd loosen it and be like, oh shit.
I could go.
Does anyone know where my tobacco pipe is?
Yep. So good.
Oh, my monocle, it must have fallen off. And like
If you guys think we stop doing bits and jokes when we're off camera, no, that's when we do the most of them.
And I have a picture of me with it on that I can put in, and a video of us that I can also put into the podcast.
Oh, boy.
And a couple of filters that we played with on Snapchat that will
Dude,
also go in there.
We just started fucking playing on Snapchat. It was so fucking fun.
And
the picture you posted today, dude, it was so funny.
This is my girlfriend.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, no fucking way.
And then everyone ended up showing up, and Mom asked me to get out so I could help her. And every time I had to get out of the AC car, I would cause the biggest fit. Or she'd be like, "Can you come help me?" And I'd be like,
It was so
"Damn it!"
And then the next time, can you roll the window up?
Yeah. I was like, "Roll the window up," and you were like, "Wait, but Mom's talking. I don't want to roll the window." I'm like, "Roll the window up."
No, remember the second time I just did it?
Oh yeah,
Anyway.
and it was what was it, like the third time that I told you to roll it
Yeah.
up, and you roll it up, and I just go.
And everyone was like giving a shit. It's like, oh, they keep getting back in the car. I'm like, yeah, because we're already set up.
Yeah, we don't have anything to do. I mean, we could help you, but I don't want to.
I don't fucking want to. We set our shit up by ourselves.
Yeah,
Do it yourself.
we didn't get a lounge around at the lake. We're lounging around right now. We're just taking turns. Don't get mad at me.
Fuck you.
And then I think the rest of that night we just kind of hung out, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Just chilled.
Nothing big happened. The dinner was fucking
So good,
amazing,
that spinach, artichoke, chicken.
Holy
shit,
shit,
dude.
it was so good.
Oh. Yeah, she was like debating. She almost did regular hobo dinners, and I was like, no, come on, be doing that. Come on, be original. Come on. And then it was like I told her, I was like, we could do the tortellini again because that was bussin'. And she was like, well, it didn't really turn out well. And I was like, it was fucking yummy to me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And then we went through, like, she was like talking about fajitas and like just a whole bunch of other stuff. And then she mentioned, like, for 5 seconds, she goes, we could do like a spinach artichoke like chicken thing. And then
What
I
a
stopped
random thing to just
dead
drop.
in my tracks. I just was like,
Yes.
absolutely yes, do that one. And then she kind of moved on for a little bit, and then she was like, we could do this, this, and this, and all I was thinking about is don't.
Don't.
Like, just
Artichoke.
just do the one you already said. Like, there's no use in looking any further. But I didn't say that, but she just, kept looking. And then a couple days later, she was like, so I was thinking if we do like the fajita thing, and I was like, so you're not doing the spinach artichoke chicken thing? And she was like, oh, did you want to? And I was like, it sounds pretty good. And she was like, it does sound pretty good.
It sounds pretty good.
And she was like, let's try it. And so she went and got all the stuff, and it was so good. It turned out perfect.
It was, like, even over the fire, it turned out perfect.
right. Well, and she cooked everything beforehand,
Yeah.
and then she just needed to warm it up in the fire, and that's all it needed.
Delicious. Goddamn delicious.
And,
We didn't even talk about the garlic bread we ate in the car.
Oh yeah, I forgot I had garlic bread.
It was because it lasted all of 10 minutes.
Because we were sitting in the fucking car, and after like cleaning stuff up, and then I'm like, I'm gonna take this up there and go get garlic bread out of the cooler, and I take it all up there. I come back down with the garlic bread, and it's like half of a loaf of garlic bread, and it's like squished and just a teeny bit soggy because it was in the cooler, and I take it out, and it looks like a sandwich almost. And I take the top part off of it because it's garlic bread, so everything's in the middle. So I take the top part off, and I go, you want the other half? And you're like, "No, that's all you." And I was like, "Okay." I mean, shit.
I was like, maybe I'll try to be a little bit good about the gluten thing, and then that went out
the window.
Went out the fucking window so quick.
And
he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'll take a bite."
I took a. Yeah, I ate that shit so fast. But the rest of that night was super fun, nice and chill. I didn't get very much sleep that night, which was very weird because the next night I got some good sleep.
I was in and out the second night, but I got more, like, because I was in the tent till like 9.
Right, I was in and out just a little bit, but not as much as the first night. I think the only reason why is because I was laying parallel with the hill, so I kept having to like pull myself back up onto my mattress and make sure I wasn't rolling.
I don't know. I just wasn't sleeping the greatest, but who gives a shit?
I wasn't in there with you this time.
No, it's honestly, we didn't watch Bo Burnham or the SpongeBob movie.
I know we were supposed to that night, and then I got way too fucking tired.
Yeah, I was like, all right, bedtime.
And then the next day I don't even remember what we did until we went to the ice caves.
We kind of just sat around camp. The kids painted birdhouses.
Right.
We just kind of chilled and like ate breakfast.
Okay.
Breakfast.
Then we started to the ice caves, but
we went to the store first.
Right.
Got more ice.
Then we went to Paris in Idaho, which is
in Italy.
Yeah, we just flew out of there. Fuck that shit, dude. I'm done with camping. No, we went to Paris, which my great grandma used to own a cafe up there called Paris Cafe, and she owned it for a long time. I think until my grandpa passed away, and then she sold it, I believe. So I pointed that out, which I thought that was like our thing while we were going into Paris. I was like, "Oh, look, there it is. There's the little cafe."
Yeah.
And we drove past that, and then took a turn where I was like, I don't know where this is going. Then we get up to a cemetery, and I was like, "Oh, maybe this is the graveyard that we buried my great grandma at. That would make sense. We would visit her, say hi."
Yeah.
And hey, what's up? How you doing, Grandma? And then leave.
Yeah.
But I was like, I swear we didn't have her out here. I thought we just had her in like Garden City. And so we get up there and we get out of the car, and the biggest headstone that said Price on it, which is originally my last name, which is a whole fucking story. But it was just giant. And then my grandpa comes up to us, and he's saying that like a lot of my family was actually buried up here, and like pointed out, and he started pointing out a whole bunch of them, and then like the entire fucking cemetery was just crowded with Prices. And then Cade looks over and sees one that is his family.
Yeah. My family name was there, and I'm like, I recognize that fucking name. Like, they died not only like 70 years ago or something like that. It's part of my family too. It's like 3 of them were my family, I think.
It was a very weird coincidence.
Yeah. I had never realized that. I'm like, I guess it makes sense because my grandparents like owned a cabin up here, shared among them and their siblings.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh,
that's awesome.
Makes sense.
And then I just checked out some of them, and the big one that I noticed at first, it said Price on it, and then there was like 4 more that also had it on there but smaller, and then it said like Mother, and I was like, oh, his wife's right here. And then someone came up to me, and then they go, wives. And then they point at the rest of them, and they all say mother and wife, mother and wife, mother and wife.
It was so fucking funny.
And I look across, and I go, oh. Oh. And so I didn't know that my great great grandpa was a polygamist.
Dude, I didn't know if I was allowed to laugh or not, because
I laughed.
It was so funny.
And then I think my grandpa said that he was even like sent down from what's his face, Brigham Young, and so I kind of was like taken aback. I was like,
well, I mean, yeah, it had like the 3 states,
California,
in 3 years.
Utah, and Idaho.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was so cool.
And I was like, this is bizarre. How do I don't know anything about my family history, so that's why I wasn't like dying laughing at the wife thing at first, because I was just like, what the fuck is happening? I don't know any of this. And then we got back, and he showed us the houses that my grandparents, or my great times 5 grandfather had 4 houses on an intersection, and the one on the very top of the hill,
that's where the main bitch
was, and the pimp himself, Mr. Pimpin' Price up there. And then just a little bit lower on the hill was another house, and then a little bit lower, and then it just kind of evened out right here.
So the main bitch got to watch over the side bitches.
Yes. So each of
This
the
is how it was
houses,
explained to us, by the way.
It was each of these houses was for the wives. So the pimpin' guy himself, and then the main bitch, and then it feels so weird calling my great grandmas
Main
bitches.
Bitch, yeah. Main and side bitches.
I have multiple grandmas that were with. That is so weird. Ew. Oh, that is so weird.
Hey, I just want to point out.
All of them were my grandma.
True. But no man nowadays would give all 4 of his wives a house. Just saying.
Yo. So I'll put a picture in of one of the houses that I got that wasn't refurbished and made to look like a mansion.
Yeah.
But it was just really cool to see that part of my family history up in Garden City. I had no idea. It kind of made me want to move to Garden City and change my last name back.
I never want to move up there just because you could never fucking get anywhere.
That's true.
All the tourists. And
I would just buy one of those ones out in the middle of nowhere and be self-sufficient.
That would be sick.
Then we headed to the ice caves.
And let me tell you, this is like an off-road trail. And when I even told my boss about it, who's very familiar with it, he's like, "You did it in the Mazda?" And I'm like, "Dude, I did it, and I fucking crushed it in the Mazda."
Yeah, he was doing like we were up there with like trucks and like
SUVs,
SUVs,
Jeeps,
and it's except for Ton, he
had a Camry.
A Camry, yeah,
which was still higher off the ground than the Mazda because I'm not on stock suspension.
and at least it still did really good.
It did really good.
Like we didn't really have very many big issues except for that one giant crevice.
Yeah. And let me tell you, crushed it.
I know. I feel like you did better on that than some of the other parts of it.
Yeah, somehow.
Especially coming back down.
I was killing it on the way back down. So fun.
But it was really cool. I this time I was kind of outwardly saying it to everybody that I was like, I don't know how much ice is gonna be in the caves, because last year there was like barely anything.
Yeah.
Like it was just like or I guess it wasn't last year, it was the year before, but it was like just one icicle, and everyone was touching it, so it was just melting.
Oh yeah, that fucks it.
And it was in June, so it was even earlier where it would have been colder.
And that was just a shit year, though.
Yeah, with the water. Yeah. So it being a lot more, wet this year.
There was a lot.
And it was just, even with all the water, I was still shocked at how much ice was in there.
There was a ton.
And
probably at least a metric ton.
I didn't get a lot of pictures.
I actually got quite a few.
I just got the ones with my red light behind the ice,
Nice.
which looked so sick.
I got a bunch where, looking down at the crevices and everything,
Yeah.
some on the inside looking at the ice and shit, so
I
I can
think
send those to you.
Dustin got some good ones, too. I'll
I
have
think
to look
so.
at.
He took a far away picture of you doing the red thing.
Yeah, he
Looks-
posted them on Facebook. I got to see them. They look
Nice.
so cool. And it was so funny because Cade, being a climber, just wanted to just climb around in there.
I saw rocks. I'm like, I'm gonna go climb that rock.
And at one point, we came out, you kind of have to get low to get through to this, the bigger part of it where all the ice really is. And you get low, you come through there, and then when we were done in there, we came back out, and there's just, this kind of steep-looking rock thing that just goes out of the cave because there's a hole at the top. And immediately, as we were walking in, Cade goes, "Oh, I'm going to climb out of that."
Yeah.
That was, the first thing.
First thing.
And I was like, I think I wanted to the year before or something like that, and I just never did. And I'm wearing loafers.
Yeah, loafers
I'm wearing
on.
my Hey Dudes. And so I was like, maybe I shouldn't. And then when we get out of there and Kate starts climbing up, I'm like,
Oh.
it doesn't look that bad. And my mom goes, do not climb that in your shoes. And I was like, I'll be fine. And then Amanda, she was saying that she got up to the top and then she could not get out because it was too scary or something.
Well,
And
yeah, she just did not go the right way.
Right. And so I get near there, and then Cade goes, "Carson, you should come up here." And I go, "Yep, I'm on it." And so I
He's
start
like,
climbing up. And we get up there, we get to the top. We're both just like,
I don't
that
know.
was easy.
Yeah, I don't know what she was talking about. It was
Yeah.
literally I didn't have to do much climbing.
No, you
Because
really
just grab a step, grab a step.
It was just making sure you had the right footing. Like you're just
Exactly.
making sure that your foot wasn't slipping off of a rock.
And
then
you're fine.
You could make it just
And
fine.
Those rocks are so fucking perfect for climbing.
Right, because
They
they
just-
had like the grooves
Yeah,
and everything
exactly.
in there. Yeah,
It could not have been more
because
perfect.
of the weathering from the water and everything going in there. It was just awesome.
Once I get like back into climbing and more, I'm gonna go back there and like climb out of that huge
That
one.
big one, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be awesome. And
Because that one looked terrifying.
yeah, it did. It looked like fine. Like it kind of looked okay when we were looking up, but when we got to the top,
Oh my god!
that looked scary.
I got a couple pictures of that one. So.
I love. My mom has one, and you can see me over there, and I'm gripping 2 rocks, standing at the edge of it.
I have one of you just.
And then when she was standing over there, and I go, "Whoa!" flick my leg out. She goes, "Do not."
I know. I started going closer. She's like, "I don't want to have to call your mom about you dying." I'm like, "You won't. You won't."
You're like, you don't have service. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. You're not calling anyone.
And it was just super cool. We'll throw in whatever pictures and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And we went back, right?
Yeah.
We just kind of headed back.
To Firehouse.
Oh yeah, we went and got Firehouse.
We went there last year and it was
So good.
so good. So we're like, yeah, we gotta go back.
We got to go back.
And he got the sandwich that I got last year,
The Montana.
and I got some wings.
Yeah.
They were really good.
Yeah.
They were like the
So
chicken was
good.
delicious.
It was amazing.
Melted off the fucking bone.
I know. At one point, Cade was I was just eating my sandwich, and I hear him go, and then he goes, "I did it!" And I look up, and there's just the bone on his hand.
I was
Like that was it.
I was doing like one shots
Yeah,
with
it was just-
all of these. It was awesome. Like I would just put it in my mouth, bone, chew.
And they were pretty good.
They were amazing.
Then after that, we went over to the gas station and looked at pocket knives. And we actually wanted to get a gallon of water, and we went in there, didn't come out with a gallon of water. And then I wanted to look at a pocket knife, and Cade was like, I could probably get a knife. And so we go in there, and I'm looking at all these like novelty knives, like the gun one that we got last time, and like there's a guitar one, and just some stupid like cheap ass knives. And Cade's looking at the case of knives and other weaponry.
There's some crazy shit in there.
And
Like crazy shit.
you were like, I think I'm gonna go see if I can get them to open this up.
Yeah.
And they just gave him the keys.
I walk over, I'm like, hey, can we open that case up so I can look at some stuff? And he's like, which case? I'm like, the knife case. He's like, the big one? I'm like, what other knife case? Yeah, the big one. And he's like, all right, looks through his key. Here you go. And I'm like,
yeah, you walked over and you go, he just gave me the keys, and I was like, what?
yeah, I was so confused. Like, he just gave them to me.
And you're just kind of sorting through everything, and I had made a joke before you even opened it about the police baton or whatever.
I had been eyeing it.
And I was like, dude, imagine getting one of these or something like that, and
Imagine, right?
imagine getting one of those.
Imagine that.
And Kate's looking through all the knives, and I could tell by the way you were looking at them that you weren't getting one of those knives. You were gonna get the baton.
Oh, yeah. I was just like, oh, this is cool. Oh, nice.
Yeah, check this one out.
Baton.
Look how crazy this one is. And then you were like, all right. And so we went in there trying to get a gallon of water and maybe a pocket knife, and we walked out with nothing but a police baton.
Like an actual just
And it's heavy.
heavy-duty steel baton that is, like, retractable and everything. You flick that thing out with the power of God, and it's like, I could break something with this, like, heavily.
And
Allegedly.
And
yeah,
that night we went back, chilly.
not the weather. We had chili.
We had chili. And I'm sure I could think of more things, but because of
Yeah,
time, there's
running
not
on it.
really. But
Next day,
it was so fun.
yeah, got up, just kind of ate breakfast. I packed my shit up. Everyone else
yeah.
packed their shit up.
I got up at like 7 or 8 in the morning, and I just was like, I'm going to get started. So I packed up everything in my tent, rolled up my sleeping bag, rolled up my mattress. I got everything ready to go, and I was like trying to be quiet.
I don't know why. That's just something you and I do as soon as we wake up on the last day, because no one else did it.
Well, it's like I would rather just have everything done, and then
Exactly.
when we need to roll out, we just roll out.
Yeah,
You
have
know?
all the shit already in the car. Everyone's packing up. We're like, we're ready to go.
Except for the tent, because it did rain a little bit, and
Yeah.
mine wasn't dried out quite yet when I got up, so I just left that up.
Nah, I just
I
put
did
mine away.
contemplate moving my tent completely away from Cade. Like I was gonna change camp like spots, And so that when he'd come out of his tent and mine wasn't there, and he'd look down the hill and I'm all the way down there. But it was just making so much noise that I was like, I'm the only one awake right now, and I would rather not wake everyone up. So I got literally everything except for my tent, done.
Yeah.
And it was just sitting in my chair, and then I was like, well, there's 2 logs over there that are just loose. They're not wrapped up or anything. And then I just went and gathered a bunch of sticks, and then I tried to light a fire, and I was fighting with my Zippo lighter for 15 minutes.
Really?
I could not get it it would finally light, and then I'd light the wood, and because it had rained, it wouldn't stay lit or light anything else on fire. So I was using paper towels and paper plates, and I forgot that bug spray isn't flammable, so I tried to spray some in there and light it, and it didn't do anything. And I was trying everything in the book, man.
Pulled the tannerite out of the car.
Eventually, I used
Allegedly.
someone else's lighter and just packed the thing full of used paper plates, and then just lit that thing on fire. And but I was the best part about this in the morning. This is the last thing I'll say about it is I got up and I got everything onto my chair, and I was just kind of gathering wood, and I go to grab some near the hammocks. Where I was looking at a pile near the hammocks, and I kind of look over, and I was thinking, everyone was talking about hearing someone farting the other night, and so I was thinking, how funny would it be right now if I just ripped ass? It is dead silent. It is early in the morning, and my ass is gonna fucking yell. It's just a quick little yeah out my butt, and and so I was looking at the pile of wood, and then I stopped for a second and kind of braced to fart, and then I was like, oh, but what if I wake everyone up with my fart and they get mad?
How can you be mad?
And then I look over, and Dustin is in one of the hammocks, the covered one. And so I'm sitting there going, and then it just immediately my face dropped, and I see him over there, and I could not. At first, I swear on my life, I thought it was you.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was like, why the fuck is Cade in the hammock and not in his tent?
Why was Dustin in the hammock?
And apparently he got up earlier and just wanted to go hang out in the hammock.
Okay.
And so he was in the hammock, and I look over, and then it looked like he was asleep. So I was like, well, now my fart would really be an issue.
Yeah.
So then I just
So he
fucked
did it
off.
on his face.
And then as I was coming back, I think I noticed his phone. He was laying in the same position, but then now his phone was there.
Yeah.
And it still looked like he was asleep, but it was just held up out of nowhere. So I was like, oh, he's awake. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And well, at that time the fart went away, so I couldn't do it. But
Where'd it go?
probably in my blood.
You have fart blood?
Fart blood, yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah.
did for a minute. It might have come back up as a burp at one point. But then, yeah, you kind of just started a fire, and everyone came in, and then we dipped out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
It was fun.
I'm excited for next year. We already have it booked.
Yup.
And then just quickly, I wanted to say, buy a sticker.
Buy all of the
All
stickers.
of them. Just buy all the stickers.
Just get them all.
And Buzzsprout has fucked us over, so this episode's going to be 50 minutes.
Fuck you, Buzzsprout.
Fuck you, Buzzsprout.
Fuck you, Buzz.
And then the next couple of weeks is going to be kind of iffy, so we're going to try and get a guest for the next episode while I'm gone.
Carson's doing a whole lot of fucking leaving.
Yeah, I've got my birthday. When this comes out, it'll already have been my birthday, so I'll be 21 when this comes out.
Yep.
That's weird.
Happy birthday, bitch.
I will have gone to a concert, gone to dinner, and then I have more dinners, and I've got a parade to be in this weekend, and there's just so much stuff going on. I leave.
Yeah, he's got a schedule. See, mine just blew up like my Jeep.
So, the next couple of weeks are going to be a little iffy. I just ran through everything with Cade not too long ago before we started, and it's just fucking hectic. I'm going to be in the Roy Days Parade for my mom's spa stuff, which is going to be fun. That was so last second, dude. We were literally at the parade for the 4th of July, and as everyone was passing, I think my aunt was like, you should try and see if you can get in in one of these parades and do a float next year or something like that. And then they were like, yeah, that would be fun. And then my mom kind of looked up how you get into a parade.
Yeah.
It's $10 and you can just be in the parade.
Yeah.
And so
I don't think people realize how easy it is.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. And so she
That's-
paid the $10, and then she just got a spot in Roy Days, and we were like,
That's what my boss did. He literally just paid it and then took the forklift with a huge snowman on it and for a drive around the city for fun.
it's awesome. If I was a little more structure to my music stuff, I would try and do that, or even the podcast stuff. It would be so much fun.
We're just doing a drive-by podcast.
Yeah, we're just talking with like a table in front of us.
Yeah,
and
just
the
on
back
a
of
moving
truck.
trailer.
Or a trailer, yeah. And everyone's just seeing like the, and then we're just like, and then the bitch looked at me and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was in your shower. I thought it was my house. It's my bad. She's like, "You were following me home from the gym," and I was like, "I wasn't following you."
I don't think you can actually prove that. I mean, your blue Honda Civic with the license plate T7498 is very common.
And I don't even know what you're talking about. I rode here on the back of a bus.
Yeah,
So
I really don't
you
understand.
rode here under my car, jackass.
You don't know that.
I don't think you know that that's true because I was pretty hit. I was on a bus.
I would have cut your ankles.
So I don't think that.
I don't.
Just at the
Yeah.
trailer.
Just so fucking random. And it would be that.
And then we are going to try and get a guest on for next episode, which is going to be short notice, so I hope that it works because that would be so fun.
Hope that he scoop.
And then just before I hand it over to Cade, while we were up, I said before, while we were up camping, I tried to download the game Smash Hit, and it didn't work because the service up there is iffy. And then we went into the no service zone, so I was just like, back. So I had to find something to do. I was reading a lot too, but I just wanted to do something with my hands. And reading, like, I'm just holding my book. And so
him and I can only have sex so much when we're around other people.
And so especially my family.
Exactly.
And so for like a couple of weeks, maybe even a month or two, I've had written down in my notes is to draw more cloud guys for like the stickers and stuff for CK Beats and just ideas under it. And but funny enough, the notes weren't on my phone. I wrote them down.
Nice.
So I didn't have them up there with me, but I was like, fuck, I should just start doing whatever. And so at first I kind of was just like, I want to do a sunflower one just because
that one was cute.
It's cool. And that was my great-grandma's favorite flower. And so I was like, that'll be fun for the family too. And then I thought a little bit about the beat stuff. And then I wanted to do like the skull one because I thought that it would be dope for like the underground beat that I have or just anything really.
True.
Then I was thinking the Halloween ones and like the holiday ones and the alien one.
Oh my god,
one of my
so
favorites.
good.
I freaking love that one. And I got done with a bunch of them. I have like 2 rows now. And I was like, oh, for like the Fonk ones. I said this out loud to Cade. I said, for the Fonk ones, I should do like some anime-inspired ones or something like that. And then he immediately made Naruto.
Oh, yeah.
And then I made him with a Rasengan. Then I made him with Sage Mode. And then I made the Akatsuki members, which we always talk about. So the first one I made was... or I was working on Sage Mode before I stopped and then stopped working on them. And then once I went to bed that night, I started working on Itachi.
Nice.
And I was like, this is going to be sick. And Kate's going to love it. And then it was awesome because I found those like preset crows. So I was able to put that behind the cloud head.
Yeah.
And then I started making the other Akatsuki members. I think I made one more that night, maybe. And then made the rest of them that day after. And so I think I got through like 3 of them. I was working on Kisame until we were literally packing up to leave. And like when we were standing there while people were packing, I was behind the truck and still working on part of him. So
yeah.
And I actually I forgot to do the eye things like I told you, so I did that in the car, I think.
Yeah.
But
turned out really good.
I did a whole bunch of them, and then I'm not even going to be able to really use any of those, so I need to just kind of do some vague, similar looking ones, but not quite.
Instead of a cloud, it's a teardrop on their cloaks.
Yeah. And like I had so much fun drawing those, and so those are definitely going to be stickers coming out soon because of just the ideas that I've been making. So we're going to be working on that after I get my new ones on Thursday. When this comes out is when I get my circle stickers.
Nice.
So I'll have those. And
good shit.
I think that's all. So I'm gonna hold on just a second. Just hand that over to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So, fun fact, I recently moved to a super nice place. It's awesome. I got a new apartment. Had to clear out the old townhome where I had my Jeep sitting because, I don't drive that piece of shit. And so my old roommate was like, okay, let's just get it over to my work because then we could just sell it out of there. I'm like, cool, let's do it. And I had him drive my Jeep because I didn't have a valid license and the car allegedly is not registered. So, well, it was, but it was like the last day. And I'm like, I'm not chancing it. So I had him drive it. And we were on the freeway, which I was impressed that my Jeep was on the freeway. And then I was like, the next part is why I didn't want it on the freeway. Jeeps have a common problem. Like, this is actually a huge thing with just all Jeeps.
You like how I mentioned that?
Which one?
Did you read that when I said that? You said the coolant part, and I was like, isn't that like a big thing?
Coolant is a huge thing with them, yeah. But
this
this
is the other thing that's a big issue.
This one specific transmission line always gets just burst. Because if you hit a bump or something really hard, right? Right. Ooh, I could say really bad joke right now. Horrible joke. Okay. But
I love when you say that because it's almost just as bad as saying the joke.
It is. And I just love to keep them in suspense because I'm going to tell it to you anyways. But we were just driving, and oh wait, I should probably finish what I was saying. And if you hit a bump or something, like a huge bump, and your whole body flexes, it'll come down and hit the transmission line.
That's nice.
Genius fucking engineering right there, boys. Genius. And it's a hard line. Like, so it's going to get cracked. If it was a soft line, it would just get smacked a little. Hard line. So we were just...
Tell you about a hard line.
I know, right? We're just driving. I was behind him, and then all of a sudden, he hits a bump. Smoke. Just an ungodly amount of smoke starts coming out from behind my Jeep. And I'm like, my heart drops. I'm like, oh, okay. That's cool. There goes any chance of money I thought I was going to get out of this thing. And I was just so defeated. We pulled over, and it was just leaking something everywhere. Just dripping down. It was the engine was still steaming a little. And we started looking at it. It's like, that might be coolant because that's a pretty big issue. But I like how whenever I start talking about the Jeep,
I'm really hungry, and I noticed that she got home, and all I can think about is that pot roast up there.
I really can't even be mad at you for that. But it sucked because it's like, what do? You can't drive the thing because obviously something really, really bad just happened in it. And we just start trying to look at it. We try to get a tow truck called, and we're like, okay, this kind of seems like it's a transmission thing because I see red fluid. Reddish, pinkish fluid type thing. It's like, that's not antifreeze because antifreeze is just pink. And then this could also come from power steering technically. I was like, I hope to God not.
Yeah, that would suck.
But we just hopped in my buddy's car and called the tow truck. I was livid. Like, I was just fuming. I was pissed as hell.
How far away were you from your destination?
5 minutes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
And this was on the side of the freeway, by the way. That's not a fun place to fucking be, especially when we're in two tall cars that go boom, 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 whenever fucking a big car drives by because of the wind.
Yep.
These are just shaky-ass vehicles because they're off-roaders, so we're just vroom, 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 just the whole time. And we called the tow truck place because my buddy was like, okay, I know these guys. Like, I know some of the workers. It'll be fine. And we called the dispatch, and we're like, hey, is this person working? They're like, oh, let me check. 10 minutes on hold.
Oh, my God.
And they answer like, oh, how can we help you? And we're like, cunt, what do you mean? You just put us on hold for 10 minutes. We already told you how you can help us. And so finally finally they got our information. God. And was like, okay, we'll send one out. And I'm like, you couldn't have done that 10 minutes ago? Like, I was just getting so fucking mad. Like, unjustifiably, but justified because of what just happened to my car.
Well, it sounds like they were like, is this person working? And then they're like, I'll go find out. And then they went to go find out, and then they just got to talking with someone and got distracted, and then they were like, oh, who the fuck is on hold?
Yeah.
They're like, how can I help you? Like,
it's kind of how it felt. I really did. But whatever. The guy came, he looked underneath, he's like, yeah, it looks like a trans line. And I'm
Ugh.
like, fuck. But at the same time, way better than the alternative, because it could have been torque converter, which would mean if I tried to start the car, it would not. Yeah, got it up on the truck. I took a couple of videos and pictures just because I was mad and sad. And Stan got one where he like was looking at his car, then he turned to the Jeep, and I'm just sitting there going, "Fuck you!" It was so funny. But got it on the tow truck, took it to the place, dropped it, and we were like, okay, let's try and start it, because then we'll know for sure what's going on. Because if it doesn't start, probably the torque converter. If it does start and it starts spraying everywhere, it's the line. Start it up, no fucking issues. Literally none. Just no, just go. It's going. And nothing wrong is happening.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. No fluid is even leaking.
What the fuck?
And the car's running perfectly. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. I just think there wasn't enough pressure in the line to burst out the pinhole that it had created. Because it is seriously pinhole type shit that these leaks do. Yeah, so that's the funniest thing. It's like, it's just such a small hole. And the reason why there's so much fucking steam is because the trans line is right on the engine. So it just sprayed on the engine and heated up in steam. So it made me freak out way more because of just the pure amount of smoke that came out.
That is exactly what I thought was happening with my power steering, is that I had a pinhole and it was just shooting liquid onto the engine, and that's why it would smoke. But
yeah,
it's not.
Oh,
it
yeah.
hasn't been smoking, by the way.
Good shit. So it really was just the filter?
I think so. Well, and then I found out, like, when I drove back up to play volleyball the other day,
Yeah.
it did smell a little burny, but there was no smoke.
Hey, that's just a Subaru thing.
Right. So,
Good shit. But yeah, so I'm trying not to be too bugged about it because it's not that big of a thing. And I found out it doesn't have death wobbles anymore.
and it got there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it got there.
It got there.
It's there.
It's there.
Boom.
And the tow, since it was like a buddy, it would have been like $160.
Mm.
But we did a kind of like backdoor deal, and I just gave the dude $80,
Hell yeah.
and that was that.
No side door, just back door?
Just backdoor.
Fuck yeah.
And it was a good end to the situation where we just got it there. My buddy said
that's
he's
like
gonna
best
help.
case scenario. Like,
Realistically.
it was a pinhole thing that was spraying onto the engine.
Realistically,
You got
best
it
case.
cheap, towed, and it got there.
It got there, and I figured out I don't even have to tell people it has wobbles because it doesn't.
It doesn't.
The thing is fine,
It's awesome.
and that's what pisses me off. It's like I could have been driving this thing. Nice. It's like I really could have like been driving to trailheads and shit. The only reason I have not been using it is because like,
Death
it can't make it.
Yeah.
But apparently it fucking could have.
But imagine being on one of those trails, though, and that happens with the
Yeah.
trans line.
But the thing is, I wouldn't be going fast enough.
True.
I would be going barely 2 miles an hour
That is true.
going over stuff like that.
Well.
I know. It was
Well,
whatever.
apparently you can also do it in the Mazda, so.
Yeah. Fuck, why do I even need a goddamn Jeep? I did it in a fucking Mazda. But realistically, turned out well. I'm going to try to get it sold soon so I can get an actual new car. Because I fucking need one so bad. The Mazda's, it's got numbered days, man. Numbered. After what we just put it through.
Right.
Holy fuck. But I think that's going to do it.
I think we did it.
Hold up. Are you on YouTube or Spotify? If you're on other shit, just follow these instructions as if you're on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, rate us 5 stars. And while you're at it, do the Q&A. Because, we like to hear. We like to hear back from you guys. Some of you guys. I'm going to be honest. But, nevertheless, while you're on Spotify, go on over to CK Beats. CK Beats, Mr. Sir. Which one did you just put out today?
Today was Madness.
And it's one of my
It was the one that we
favorites.
put clips in when we were talking about, when Hannah was here and everything, and I was talking about, like, all the intricate stuff that went into the beat that was supposed to be simple. So that one got put out today, and then
Yep.
there'll be another one next week when this comes out. So
True. And yeah, after you're done with that, hop on over to YouTube. All right, you doing that? Bunny hop, pew, hop. Walker, hop.
yeah. Oh, that was so cute.
It was so fucking cute. But while you're on YouTube, go to 2 Brains 1 Cell Pod, hit subscribe, or better yet, subscribble. Do that for me. Like, comment, post notifications even.
And then subscribe to CK Beats.
Yeah. While you're there, like you just, hey, shut up. Sorry, they're upstairs neighbors. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to both those channels and let us know if you want to be on the pod. Lettuce, cheese, tomatoes, fuck you.
That needs to be on a shirt,
for
dude.
real.
That's going to be some of our merch.
Have a good week, everyone. Thank you for watching, and be safe.